Good morning, Miss Omlin. Thank you for taking time to be interviewed this morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Well, I just want to say welcome to Recruit 'em All, and I just wanted to go over what we're expecting in an employee. We are looking for somebody who can be a communications project manager. They'll probably be dealing a lot with public relations and persuasive communication, and they need to have a knowledge of media and how it works and how we can contribute, how we can take that and use it in our organization.
Okay.
So, do you have any questions before we begin?
No questions.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's just get started.
Okay.
Okay, what projects have you worked on in the past that make you feel as though you're a good candidate for this job?
So projects I've worked on in the past, I completed 2 internships that were both related to marketing, and I worked on developing web infrastructure for these 2 different companies. So I think my kind of knowledge of web design and social media would really help in this position.
What are the 2 projects that you worked on?
So the first was with the Office of Disability Services at George Mason University, and I built out the framework and kind of made the navigation of their website easier to use. And then for the second project that I was working on, it was for a technology reseller called CompSec. And we were really revamping the website and kind of building out different security levels within that. So I worked on that as well.
Awesome. That sounds like that's some like really good opportunities to do.
Yeah, it was great.
What are 3 words that you would use to describe yourself?
3 words. Let's see. I would say goal-oriented. I would say responsible, and hardworking.
Okay, awesome. Those are great ways to describe yourself, definitely. What relevant coursework have you participated in that lends itself towards a career in the recruiting industry?
So I've done like a variety of different coursework. I'm actually doing an interdisciplinary major, so I'm working across multiple disciplines. I have some experience in courses with communication, such as business and professional communication, which is really helping me get prepared for the business world and communicating in that avenue.
All right, awesome. That sounds great. Do you have experience working internationally?
I'm not working internationally. However, I did participate in an exchange program to Erasmus University in the Netherlands. So I was there for about 5 months, and I did 2 semesters of coursework over there. So I have some experience with travel.
That's awesome. How would you say that those 2 semesters abroad would affect your ability to travel abroad and work in an organization such as Recruit 'em All?
Well, I think it definitely helped me kind of build my cultural understanding and global understanding. It really helped me develop communication skills to kind of respect people's different cultures. I was exposed to students from all over the world, so I think that just really helped bolster my confidence kind of studying abroad, and I just really have a passion for, I guess, travel, so I'm really excited about that.
I definitely think your studying abroad is definitely going to bring a cool aspect to this organization. Since you've already studied abroad, you know different cultures. I think it's definitely going to help out.
Fantastic.
How do you handle being under pressure?
So how do I handle being under pressure? I guess really just kind of taking my tasks and dividing them up and kind of making lists and trying to, I guess, decrease the work level. I feel like being very organized is a good skill to have when there's pressure on the job, so that really helps.
Are there any certain instances that you can recall being particularly stressed and how you handled them in a work environment or professional environment?
Sure. I had some experience working in aquatics. So I was the assistant manager of a very large facility in Quantico, and there was a lot of stress on the job because you're constantly trying to make sure that your employees are keeping the environment really safe. And to really manage that, I just made sure that my employees were really working on schedule and, they're doing their safety checks and things like that. And I feel like when you're following, rules and procedures, it kind of helps to keep the stress levels down in kind of a work environment that's like that.
Definitely. That's awesome. Definitely. What's the worst experience you ever had in a work environment?
the worst experience I had. I'd have to say probably working 12-hour shifts at the pool.
Oh, goodness.
It was definitely, not the greatest situation because you're in a facility that's outdoors and it's really hot. And to kind of, manage with that, I had to take a lot of breaks and, stay hydrated and things of that nature. So I would say that was definitely a really challenging experience.
Right. And how did you handle that?
Really, I handled it by trying to take care of myself while on the job and making sure that I was still, prepared for my work duties and things like that. And I tried to make sure that I avoided situations where I was going to be in those really, really long shifts. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's the great approach you had.
Thanks.
How does your experience as a marketing intern better qualify you for this position above others?
So I would say it's really important to have experience in the field that you're going into. So I think that my previous experience in marketing will really help me along the way. I had some experience doing public relations at my first internship, and it really helped, improve my communication skills. And this exposure that I've had to an office environment is really great because it's not something new, it's something that I've already kind of experienced. So I think I can bring that experience with me to a new job.
Right, awesome. All right, I see on your resume that you're proficient in Microsoft Office and Google Docs.
That's correct.
Can you, is there anything else that you're proficient in? Or?
Yeah, I do. I have experience with the Adobe suite. So
Okay.
this is Photoshop, Illustrator, and Dreamweaver. I've used these programs in depth at both of my internships as well as in courses to kind of create different marketing materials as well as to build out websites and things of that nature.
All right, awesome. That's perfect for our organization. I see you're a public relations intern at the Disability Service in George Mason, like you previously stated. Can you explain more of your experience on that? What did you take from that job? What skills have you learned from there?
Well, I think that working at the Office of Disability Services was really kind of a humbling experience, because I had kind of one-on-one experiences where I met students with disabilities and was involved in different activities to kind of promote disability awareness. So in that sense, it really, I guess, built my exposure to, this really different environment and kind of raised my own awareness.
Okay, now this job will probably require a lot of multitasking. How would you handle a lot of jobs coming from you or coming to you all at once from different instructors?
Okay, so as I kind of explained, I'm a really organized person, so I like to kind of keep my tasks all set apart from each other. Like, okay, I know today that I need to do X, Y, and Z, and if I kind of make lists and really prioritize my activities, I think that when things are being thrown out constantly, that's a really good way to stay organized on the job.
Right. When you were studying abroad, did you encounter any cultural barriers or any cultural customs that kind of threw you off?
Let me think. I suppose when I went abroad, I was kind of expecting to, I guess, encounter some cultural differences, and for sure there were, but for the most part, in the Netherlands, the Dutch culture is extremely relaxed, and I have to say, people are very, very nice over there. So there wasn't anything that was so shocking or different that I was like, oh my god, I don't know how to handle this.
Right.
So it was really a rewarding experience.
So you would say you're easily adaptable to different cultures and customs since you did study abroad.
For sure.
That's awesome for what we're looking for in a person.
Okay, great.
Have you ever brought in a negative attitude kind of towards the workplace, and if you kind of were going to work and you were having a really bad day, how did you did you put that aside before you entered the workplace? How did you go about that?
Yeah, it's definitely a motto of mine to kind of leave it at the door. I think when you're in a professional environment, whatever is going on in your personal life shouldn't follow you into the workplace. So it's something that I kind of live by to really bring a positive attitude into the work environment.
Yep. On your resume, you were a marketing intern and a public relations intern. Did you learn different skills kind of for each of those positions, or were they kind of intertwined? Can you explain how you learned one thing from another?
Yeah, so the first internship I did, this was the public relations internship. This really helped me in the second internship that I did because I was really kind of testing the waters with my skills in marketing. I was kind of fresh into the website design process. I was just learning how to use some of the Adobe suite. So I took all of those skills that I learned in that first internship and was able to really apply them in the second internship and just build on my technical knowledge and skills, so that was fantastic.
Okay, awesome. Under your awards and achievements, you said you were the recipient of the Sean Casey Boyle Memory Scholarship. What exactly is that?
So Sean Casey Boyle, he was a student with the Office of Disability Services, and I guess his family set up a scholarship fund, and I had applied in 2012, and I got accepted for this scholarship, so that was a really excellent thing.
Awesome. Well, that's great to see under your awards and achievements. That's definitely something. So that's definitely something to be recognized of. So I see that your integrative studies, the concentration in global affairs management. Have you had a lot of work in that specialized field yet?
Right. So I actually developed my own concentration. So it's global information management, and I started off in a field that was called information and society, which was kind of managing, different ways to manage information. And I was like, oh, well, I think a better name would be global information management. So I've definitely had experience with that. It's really about taking management information systems and different technologies and finding effective ways to, manage all your data and things like that in a business.
Oh wow! How did you get interested in the global information management and all the systems and everything?
Sure. Well, I feel like in today's day and age, information is being thrown at us constantly, and technology is really rapidly changing and being improved. And I was like, well, I really want to jump on top of that because I think that's going to be great for my professional development and kind of getting jobs in the future and things like that. So I was like, okay, I think this makes sense for what I want to major in.
Definitely, that's awesome. And you said that you're already proficient in Word and Adobe. Are you familiar with like social networkings and such as Facebook and Twitter?
Sure. I've used quite a few different social media platforms and things like that. Also, a lot of online collaborative workspaces for the work environment. In one of the office settings that I was working in, kind of doing things collaborative online was a really important element to the business practices. So I learned a lot with that as well.
Okay, awesome. And then what do you see? How do you see this company affecting you? What are you expecting from us?
I suppose I'm expecting a professional work environment and kind of something to, I guess, bolster my career. And I expect to work internationally in my future, as well as, possibly with this position. I think it would be great to kind of build my resume with some work experience abroad, because I definitely like to continue working on a global scale.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Right. All right. Well, thank you very much. I think that's all we need. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. But if I do, I'd like to follow up with you on that.
Definitely. I would love to hear from you.
Okay,
all right. Well,
great.
Thank you very much for coming in today, and it was awesome giving an interview to you.
Thank you.